Shalom, Yashala. All praise to the Most High, Shohaya, Bashem, Mamashiach, Shai, Kodesh Wak. This is Rebbe Shimon coming at you a day before this wicked, heathenistic holiday on another blessed holy day of the Most High, the Sabbath day, right? So today we're going to go into Easter, and I pray that you edify today that you do not partake in this pagan holiday. It has nothing to do with the death or resurrection of our Messiah, our King, Hamashiach Yeshai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. All right. So we're gonna go into Babylon 10 book, the two Babylons. We'll continue to use this book, break down some truth. We're gonna go into the Bible, King James Version, and we're gonna go into Zondervan Bible Dictionary, break down, get further thorough edification on what's going on here with this pagan holiday, right? So we're going to start in 2 Babylons section of Easter, page 103. Then look at Easter. What means the term Easter itself? It is not a Christian name. I love how this starts off because it's giving you an inkling to ask a question. Instead of just saying, oh, we about to do this because my mom, my grandfather at church, the pastor said, we got to figure out what does something mean. This is an excellent basic approach to understanding what Easter is. It is not a Christian name. It bears its Chaldean origin on its very forehead. Chaldean, we know, it's Babylonian, right? It's already giving you an understanding. This has nothing to do with Israel and its origin. The name of it comes from Chaldean origin, which Chaldees is a certain ethnic group of Babylonians. Babylonians are Hamites, right? Easter is nothing else than Astarte, one of the titles of Beltis, the Queen of Heaven. Hitting you right in the mouth with it. Whose name, as pronounced by the people of Nineveh, where Jonah was evidently identical with that now in common use in this country. So the name Easter is the same as this deity Astarte and Nineveh. Same thing they were doing in Nineveh, and the Most High sent Jonah to go prophesy against them. Same stuff that's happening here in this country. It's just called Easter, right? That name, as found by Layard on the Assyrian monuments, is Ishtar, right? So Ishtar is what the Greeks call this lady. Mind you, this lady is Semiramis, right? This is the wife of Nimrod, spoken of in Genesis chapter 10 and 11. He was the king of Babylon, ancient Babylon, right? The one that the enemy, the adversary, had given the idea to build a tower to reach up unto heaven, right? He was being worshipped as a demigod, and his wife, Semiramis, was also being worshipped, right? So this is her name in another language, because at the Tower of Babel, you know the story, the tongues were split by the Most High to confound them and keep them from building this tower that they desired in their heart to reach up to heaven. So this lady, Semiramis, is being called different names. Semiramis is being called different names in all countries over the earth. It's called Easter here in America, and it's giving you the understanding right here in the Syrians. It's called Ishtar. The worship of Baal and Astarte was very early introduced into Britain along with the Druids, the priests of the groves. Right, so these are a couple names right now giving you understanding of who Easter is, right? Now, let's go to, in fact, let's read one verse right quick. Alright, this is Matthew chapter 22, verse 36. Master, which is the great commandment in the law? Verse 37. Yeshai said unto him, Thou shalt love the Most High thy power with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. 38. This is the first and great commandment. So understand, we know we supposed to serve the Most High higher, and we supposed to serve with all our heart, mind, and strength. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing supposed to be, side by side or even dabbled in. We supposed to be serving the Most High. So you're seeing off the top right now. This goes back to another deity, another human that was deified and worshipped as an idol. Right? You need to know this. Off the top, you already know it. If you're partaking in Easter, you're worshiping another deity or another power or another God. Right? Let's read a little more. It says here, page 104. It says, let's start. Let's start right here. In fact, let's go. Okay, let's start right here. Now the passing through the fire represents that, and the payment of forfeit redeems the victim. This is talking about how they would sacrifice animals unto Baal, right? Baal is another name for Nimrod and his reincarnate, which is son Tammuz. The wife and the mother of Baal and Nimrod is the same person. Of Baal and Tammuz is the same person. It's Semiramis. Okay? She's the wife of Nimrod and the mother of Tammuz. Okay? And this all ties together in the worship of her. Right? If Baal was thus worshipped in Britain, it will not be difficult to believe that his consort Astarte was also adorned by our ancestors, and that from Astarte, whose name in Nineveh was Ishtar, the religious solemnities of April, we in April right now, right, as now practiced, are called by the name of Easter that month, right? Among our pagan ancestors have been called Easter Manath. The festival of which we read in church history under the name Easter in the 3rd or 4th centuries was quite a different festival from that now observed in the Romanist church, and at that time was not known by any such name as Easter. So the ancient church, under the apostles' doctrine, had nothing to do with no dumb Easter. We didn't know nothing about an Easter. We didn't walk with that, right? It was called Pesach, or the Passover, right? You're going to see how they have switched these two. They got us forsaking the law of the Most High to keep the Passover, which is the first holy day of our year. Instead, keep Easter. And though not of apostolic institution, our apostles never told us to keep Easter, was very early observed by many professing Christians in commemoration of the death and resurrection of Christ. So this is where the Most High, this is where the Messiah had communion. And this is what we are commanded to do in remembrance of the Messiah, of him giving his body and his blood, sacrificing it for us. We're not told to keep Easter. In fact, let's read that. We're not told to keep Easter to celebrate the death and resurrection of the Messiah. We're told to keep communion. Okay, we're going to read that. 1 Corinthians, I think it's 11. 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 24. And when he had gave thanks, he brake it and said, Take, eat. This is my body, which is broken for you. This do in remembrance of me. After the same manner also he took the cup when he had supped, saying, This cup is the New Testament in my blood. This do ye as oft as ye drink it in remembrance of me. So what are we doing on Easter, y'all? He tell you right here, communion. That's what we do to remember his death and resurrection. For as often as ye eat this bread and drink this cup, ye do show the master's death till he come. Simple as that. This is telling you right now, if you want to celebrate Christ, you want to celebrate the Mashiach, death and resurrection, you do communion. Out of his mouth. That's what he said. Right? So let's see what the pagan Roman Catholic Church is teaching. people how to celebrate Christ's death and resurrection. Do this right here. This is what we read. Right? Says that festival agreed originally with the time of the Jewish Passover when Christ was crucified, a period which in the days of Tertullian at the end of the 2nd century was believed to have been the 23rd of March. Right? So this is just giving you this book's opinion on where it's at. We know it's 14 days after the new year. All right, and because they playing with the calendar, and we under the Julian calendar, then they added a day to the year. So on the calendar, it changes by 1 day. But if we know that the sun and the moon and stars, they have fixed times and seasons that they rise up, and they do not change or alter from the commandment of the Most High. So we know the Passover is always going to be 14 days after the New Year. First day of New Year is the first day after the last Sabbath of the year. That's equal parts day and equal parts night, coming into the spring, not going into the winter on the first new moon of the year. Watch a video on the new moon. You get more understanding of what I'm saying. So it says that festival was not idolatrous, talking about the Passover, and it was preceded by no Lent. Lent is also something pagan that Semiramis instituted for people to mourn 40 days for her son Tammuz. Right? This is some pagan stuff, bro. But they done put it in the church and say, oh, this is going to represent the 40 days that Hamashiach fasted before he gave himself up, after he got baptized and went in the water. This is how they twist it. But that has nothing to do, okay, with Hamashiach. They're just pagan stuff. Alright? So, let's go a little bit further into it. Matter of fact, let's get a definition of the Zondervan on what Easter is. See if the Zondervan gonna tell us, because they powers that be control all education, understanding. But we got the spirit of Hamashiach Yeshai to give us the truth. Alright? It say Easter. We reading out the right Zondervan illustrated. A feast commemorating the resurrection of Jesus Christ. This is what they teaching us. Right? So even with secular dictionaries, you got to stick with the Bible. But we're going to read it just for y'all to see what they telling us. Right? Commemorating the resurrection of Hamashiach Yeshai. The KJV uses this term to render Greek Peshat. So even when you look up certain letters in the Greek, see certain words in the Greek, look up your Strong's numbers, they'll have this term, which is in Acts 12:4, they'll have this term Easter defined in the Greek as Peshat or Passover to make you think further. This is talking about the Passover. Right? But we're going to read further. Those things were at 2 different times. All right? So anybody got sense from back then, they already know, man, we're not messing with that. But we don't know time. We don't know history. We don't look in context. We don't look at landmass. We don't look at nationality to know which holidays were for which people and which holy days for what people. We, Israel, we got our holy days, Leviticus 23, okay? As well as the Feast of Dedication and the Feast of Purim. Those are holy days. That's it. If not that, you need to go on, man. What is Easter? What is that? So we're reading about Easter right now. And it says in the Greek, Pesach, G4247, only in Acts 12:4. In all other instances, it correctly renders the word as Passover. We didn't keep no Passover. We kept Passover, man. We didn't keep no Easter as Passover, as they're trying to imply here, right? It is held by some that the annual celebration of the Messiah's resurrection was observed in apostolic times. But the earliest written evidence for such a festival appears in a Pesach controversy over the correct date for the Feast of the Savior's Passover, an issue that apparently was first discussed during the 2nd century. The matter was settled by the Council of Nicaea. This is Constantine tripping in AD 325. which ruled that Easter should be celebrated on the first Sunday after the full moon, following the vernal equinox. This is the system followed today, so that the date of Easter varies between March 22 and April 25th. I understand. You got a whole lot going on right here. You got pagan nations deciding how the word of truth is going to be interpreted to the masses, deceiving the masses, right? Then he got saying you're going to celebrate it on the first Sunday. Okay, let's just look at that. Nimrod was the sun god. That's the name. That's how the name first day got its name Sunday, because that was the day Nimrod gave everybody a day, a break from building an entire Bible to worship him on Sunday. So now they're getting you to worship Nimrod on top of that. And it says after the full moon, now you're watching the moon. And Most High said you should not lift up thine eyes and worship any of the host of heaven. Okay? Now you're looking at the moon, a creation of the Most High power Ahia. Right? Now you're looking at that. Following the vernal equinox, this is the system followed today, so that the date of Easter varies between March 22nd and 25, because the moon, if you look at that new moon video, the moon comes out 10 days late. Comes out 10 days late every year. So they can't give you a specific date because they watching the moon. Oh man, why the moon ain't out? You understand? There's another reason why you don't watch the moon for the holy days, man. Gotta learn how to tell time according to the Bible, right? So let's read a little more. Read a little more, okay? Say, all right. The difference in point of time between the Christian Pesach as observed in Britain by the native Christians and the pagan Easter enforced by Rome, Roman Catholic Church, at the time of its enforcement was a whole month. So it was a difference. Like I just said, Passover and Easter, it was a whole month between them. How they done bridged them and got them all close together? Got to be because we don't know our history. We just discontinued from our heritage, and we don't know. We don't know anymore that had nothing to do with us. They done tricked us and taught us now. This is what you're really doing. No, you're not serving the Most High, Ahia, or reverencing the death and resurrection of His Son on Easter. You're not. As you see right here, these are two different things. That was about a month apart from each other. And it was only by violence and bloodshed at last that the festival of the Anglo-Saxon or Chaldean goddesses came to supersede that which had been held in honor of Hamashiach, of Christ. So, after a lot of war and forcefully killing, shedding bloodshed, and making people, we're going to make you, okay, worship Easter. Okay, we're going to make you do that, man. That's how it happened. And they kept it as something to say, okay, you still worshiping Him, but you're going to do it at this time of the year. No. All our holy days are appointed in fixed times for certain things that happen on those certain days in history. Okay, so you're not going to choose an abominable day, try to serve the Most High on it, or do anything to the Most High. Especially not this year that was not even commanded to do. Okay, the blood, which is the wine, and the body, which is the bread. That's how we remember the death and resurrection of Mashiach Yeshua, right? We're going to go a little further. Such is the history of Easter. The popular observance that still attend the period of its celebration amply confirm the testimony of history as to its Babylonian character. Giving you a little bit more understanding. This is Babylonian right here. The hot cross buns of Good Friday, which was supposed to be yesterday, and the dyed eggs of Pesach or Easter Sunday, telling you a lot now, figured in the Chaldean rites just as they do now. So all this stuff that happens at Easter, it was going on back then. We're going to give you the origin of the egg. Where's the egg come from? Here we go. The buns, known too by that identical name, were used in the worship of the Queen of Heaven, the goddess Easter, as early as the days of Cecrops, the founder of Athens, that is 1,500 years before the Christian era. 1,500 years before Mashiach even came through, they was already containing eggs, Easter eggs, y'all. Let's read that, man. It says, well, let's get it clear. It says, the buns known too by that identical name were used in the worship of the Queen of Heaven, the goddess Easter, as early as the days of Cecrops, the founder of Athens, that is, 1,500 years before the Christian era. One species of sacred bread, says Brian, which used to be offered to the gods, was of great antiquity and called bound. This is what I just referenced, the buns known too by that identical name, and called bound. Diogenes Laertius, speaking of this offering being made by Empedocles, described the chief ingredients of which it was composed, saying, he offered one of the sacred cakes called bound, which was made of fine flour and honey. Now, so we got to get in the scripture now. We got to break this stuff down. All right, let's break some of this down. Jeremiah 7 and 8. So they're cooking cakes, right? Let's see if our forefathers or foremothers was doing this. This is Jeremiah chapter 7, verse 18. The children gather wood, and the fathers kindle the fire, and the women knead their dough to make cakes to the Queen of Heaven, and to pour out drink offerings unto other gods, that they may provoke me to anger. Yeah. Our forefathers, foremothers, even his children, Word said we supposed to teach our children in the way they should go. Alright, so when they get older, they don't depart. But we teaching our kids Easter. Same thing was happening in ancient Israel. They were partaking in Easter. Wasn't supposed to be doing that, right? Cooking dough, cooking cakes, right? Let's see how the Most High feel about that, huh? Let's go to Exodus. Exodus 22, real quick. Let's read that. Exodus 22. I am the Most High, thy power, which I brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Verse 3. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Okay? That, and understand what they're saying. That's saying, I'm watching you. I better not see you worshiping nobody else, no other God, but no other power but me. Huh? Don't let me see. Don't even let me see. Now, I see everything. I better not see you have no other deity before you. Right? I'm watching. Right? Verse 4. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Shalakia. So, you making eggs, and you graving them, you making a graven image. Don't think that ain't a graven image, man. We're going to read a little more. You're going to see. You're making a graven image because that egg means something. It doesn't mean rebirth. Hamashiach resurrected from the dead. We already read that. We know how to remember Hamashiach. That egg means something. Yes, for the kids it was fun. Yeah, it's abomination. You teach them how to be idolaters. All right? Y'all need to kill that, man. Verse 5. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Most High, thy power, am a jealous power, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. Right? This serious business. Right? He said, I'm jealous. In fact, there's another scripture on that too. He said, I'm jealous, man. I don't see you worshiping nobody else, man. You're supposed to be married to me, man. Huh? This is Exodus 34 and 14. It says, for thou shalt worship no other God. For Ahiah, whose name is jealous, is a jealous power. Right? Verse 15, lest thou make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land, right? And they go a-whoring after their gods, and do sacrifice unto their gods, and one call thee, and thou eat of his sacrifice. And thou, verse 16, and thou take of their daughters unto thy sons, and their daughters go whoring after their gods, and make thy sons go whoring after their gods. Thou shalt make thee no molten gods. So, it's showing you right here, man, Most High jealous. It's also saying that, you shouldn't be dealing with the habits of the land, and we being a holy, set-apart nation of people, we was always supposed to be set apart, not dealing with these other nations. But now, we dealing with this covenant that these people got with their deity, sacrifice stuff unto their deity, and we supposed to be holy, set apart unto the Most High, right? It's not cool, man. Most High jealous about this. He's not feeling this, man. Let's go to Jeremiah. Jeremiah 44. Read a little more. Jeremiah 44 and 17. It says, but we will certainly do whatsoever thing goes forth out of our own mouth to burn incense unto the Queen of heaven, and to pour out drink offerings unto her, as we have done, we and our fathers, our kings, and our apprentices in the cities of Judah, in the streets of Jerusalem. For then had we plenty of victuals, and were well, and saw no evil. But since we left off to burn incense to the Queen of heaven, and to pour out drink offerings unto her, we have wanted all things, and have been consumed by the sword and by the famine. Verse 19, and when we burnt incense to the Queen of heaven, and poured out drink offerings unto her, we did make her cakes to worship her, and pour out drink offerings unto her without our men. So even our women was like, man, we doing this. Forget y'all, man, being disobedient, right? It's unfortunate, the woman today, we got to get up, man. We got to cook Easter, man, Easter dinner. We got to have that Easter Sunday, call everybody, They the ones more excited because they get to get in the kitchen, start cooking, No, there's nothing wrong with cooking. But cooking something that's going to be sacrificed unto an idol, it's unacceptable unto the Most High, right? Unacceptable. This is Psalms. Let's read Psalms 95 and 6, or 96 and 5. For all the gods of the nations are idols, but the Most High made the heavens, right? So they're just cooking food that's being sacrificed unto idols. If you're cooking food on so-called Easter with this zeal, and it's Easter, y'all, best believe you partaking in it. Why? Because this is a day that is set apart to Easter, Ishtar, Semiramis, right? So you do anything halfway, you in it. You ain't 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You in it. You all the way in that. Okay? Straight up. Let's read a little more. Right? Read a little more about this. Those are the buns, right? Then it says, the prophet Jeremiah takes notice of this kind of offering when he says, the children gather wood, the fathers kindle the fire, and the women knead their dough to make cakes to the Queen of heaven. We just read that. The hot cross buns are not now offered, but eaten on the festival of Astarte. But this leaves no doubt as to whence they have been derived. The origin of the Pesach, supposed to be Passover, eggs is just as clear. The ancient Jewish bore an egg as the sacred emblem of their order. Now, Jews are pagan priests to worship Ishtar, right? And they chosen this egg to worship their deity, right? Dionysiaca, or mysteries of Bacchus. This is what they call Nimrod in Greece, Bacchus, as celebrated in Athens, Greece. One part of the nocturnal ceremony consists in the consecration of an egg. Remember, y'all, this was going on 1,500 years before Mashiach came through. The Hindu, these are Indian people, fables celebrate the mundane egg as a golden color. So you got Hindu worshiping Semiramis. I think they call her Shiva or Chakra, right? The people of Japan make their sacred egg to have been brazen. In China, at this hour, dyed or painted eggs are used on sacred festivals, even as in this country. So everyone's doing this stuff to Semiramis. Why? Because it's the same deity worship at ancient Babylon. Tongues were split, and everyone took it back to taken to their new countries. This was going on, y'all. In ancient times, eggs were used in the religious rites of the Egyptians and the Greeks, and were hung up for mystic purposes in their temples. So these got some spiritual witchcraft type or purposes. They're using this stuff to conjure spirits now. Yeah. So you're inviting unwanted or spirits that the Most High is not rocking with. You bringing them right into your house. And then when you eat the egg, what you doing now? You giving a pass for that deity to come in and turn to your body. Demon possession. That quick, that simple. Straight up. This is why we're commanded not to eat anything sacrificed unto idols. Matter of fact, let's finish this. We're going to get that. From Egypt, these sacred eggs can be distinctly traced to the banks of the Euphrates. Now, Euphrates is by Babylon, right? Nineveh, all that. The classic poets are full of the fable of the mystic egg of the Babylon. So you should see, this is a fable. This is not even something that really happened. You're participating in something somebody thought up as a worship. Myth, right? It says, and thus its tale is told by Hyginus the Egyptian, Hamites, right? The learned keeper of the Palestine Library at Rome in the time of Augustus, who was skilled in all wisdom of his native country. So he was all up into that witchcraft, third eye, all of that. An egg of wondrous size is said to have fallen from heaven into the river Euphrates. This is what you say you believe, y'all, when you're dealing with Easter. The fishes rolled it to the bank, where the doves, having settled upon it and hatched it, out came Venus. Who's Venus? Venus is who the Romans call Semiramis. That's who the Romans call Semiramis. Venus, who afterwards was called the Syrian goddess, that is, Astarte. Hence the egg became one of the symbols of Astarte, or Easter. So egg is a direct metaphor, direct representation, a direct symbol of Easter, of Semiramis. Reading it right here. And accordingly, in Cyprus, one of the chosen seats of the worship of Venus, or Astarte, the egg of wondrous size was represented on a grand scale. And they even made idols of it. You see that? Look at that big old dumb egg he made. Got the calf on there, which represents Astarte, right? The heifer, that was worshipped in the northern kingdom. It's all the same thing, y'all. The occult meaning of this mystic egg of Astarte in one of its aspects, for it had twofold significance, had reference to the ark during the time of the flood in which the whole human race were shut up as the chick is enclosed in the egg before it hatched. You see this dumb retarded stuff? They try to, these retarded pagan metaphors. Oh, the egg was really representing like Noah when he was in the flood. And all of them, Noah and his three sons and their wives was in there, and they got preserved from the flood. So she was preserved in this egg, and she fell in the water, and then she hatched out and came out. Come on, man. That's ridiculous. That's not even believable, man. That stuff is just retarded, right? Now, read a little more. Okay. If any be inclined to ask, how could it ever enter the minds of men to employ such an extraordinary symbol for such a purpose? The answer is, first, the sacred egg of paganism, as already indicated, is well known as the mundane egg, that is, the egg in which the world was shut up. So even this book is, the author's like, how could someone even imagine to believe this outlandish, retarded, stupid stuff? Don't even make no sense. Now, the word has two distinct meanings. It means either the material earth or the inhabitants of the earth. The latter meaning of the term is seen in Genesis chapter 11, 1. The whole earth was of one language and one speech. This is referencing ancient Babylon, Genesis chapter 11, the Tower of Babel, before the tongue was split, where the meaning is that the whole people of the world were so. If then the world is seen shut up in an egg, and everyone got one language, so everyone's in one egg. This is how they metaphor that. This is just out. That's not even close to stupid. That's retarded. And floating on the waters, it may not be difficult to believe. However, the idea of the egg may have come that the egg thus floating on the wide universal sea might be Noah's family that contained the whole world in its bosom. Retarded. Then the application of the word egg to the ark comes thus. The Hebrew name for an egg is Bates, or in the feminine, for there are both genders, Beta. And that's Yiddish. That ain't no ancient Hebrew. This in Chaldee and Phoenician becomes Baith or Betha, which in these languages is also the usual way in which the name of a house is pronounced. The egg floating on the waters that contains the world was the house floating on the waters of the deluge, with the elements of the new world in its bosom. So they saying this egg represents the ark, Noah's ark, and everything inside the egg, meaning everything inside Noah's ark, represents the survival and the repopulation of the earth that came out of the ark. So this lady coming out is supposed to be the new understanding, the new truth, the new power that's going to take over the earth. That's how they trying to put it, trying to. The coming of the egg from heaven evidently refers to the preparation of the ark by express appointment of God, and the same thing seems clearly implied in the Egyptian story of the mundane egg, which is said to have come down out of the mouth of the great God. The doves resting on the egg need no explanation. This then was the meaning of the mystic egg in one aspect, as however everything that was good or beneficial to mankind was represented in the Chaldean mysteries as in some way connected with the Babylonian goddess. So everything in life was tied to this lady, And as I told you, there's holy holidays all year long that tied to this lady. Christmas, Wednesday, okay. The 4th of July is really a delayed celebration of this Midsummer's Eve, okay. That's the worship of her. Easter, what we talking about right now, these are all worships of Semiramis, all right. Let's see. So the greatest blessing to the human race which the ark contained in its bosom was held to be a starry. So she's supposed to be the gift, and then everyone is worshiping her. Statue of Liberty, worshiping her. Wonder Woman, worshiping her. Starbucks logo, worshiping her. She's all over, right in front of your face. Who was the great civilizer and benefactor of the world, though the deified queen, whom a starry represented, had no actual existence till some centuries after the flood, yet through the doctrine of metapsychosis, which was firmly established in Babylon, it was easy for her worshippers to be made to believe that in a previous incarnation she lived in the antediluvian world and passed in safety through the waters of the flood. So they telling you, this lady wasn't even born until after the flood, but her spirit had come back into the earth, because before she was reincarnated as something else. She wasn't even alive then, but they're using a metaphor to describe her as the gift to the world, a metaphor that happened before she even lived on the earth. She came in way after the flood. Not making even no sense. We're almost done. Now the Romanist Church adopted this mystic egg of a starry and consecrated it as a symbol of Christ's resurrection. So as you see, it has nothing to do with Mashiach. Roman Catholic Church, Council of Nicaea 325, Emperor Constantine, they instituted this into Roman Catholic Church, worship of Christ, and to get everybody to participate in something pagan that been going on before Hamashiach even came to the earth. I hope you see all that. We're going to get the definition of the Zondervan for Ishtar, right? the Sumero-Semitic goddess of love and fertility, and mainly in Assyria, which we just read, goddess of war. In Sumner, she was known as Anana, all right? And that is ancient Sumerian. Ishtar was worshipped widely throughout Babylonia and Assyria, where temples were dedicated to her in the main cities and chapels in many towns. In addition, at Babylon alone, there were 180 wayside open-air shrines where hymns and prayers to her as goddess of fertility were frequent, right? As Lady of the Lands, she was revered throughout the ANE. This is ancient, what's that? Ancient Near East. Ancient Near East. That would be, ANE is Syria, Lebanon, ancient Israel, and Syria, Lebanon, ancient Israel, and one more nation. But it's all that little area right there, the ancient Near East, right? Though sometimes under other names. In the Old Testament, Ishtar is referred to as Ashtoreth. See, it's another name, all kind of names for her. The women of Judah were upbraided for making sacrificial cakes or incense for her under her title as Queen of Heaven. So then she called the Queen of Heaven too. According to Babylonian tradition, this goddess descended to the underworld in search of her missing lover Tammuz. As I told you, she married her son. She married her husband, then her husband died, and her son probably came back. Spirit of her, which is supposed to be Orion, which is supposed to be Nimrod up there. Spirit came down and impregnated her, and she born a son called Tammuz, right? And she married her son Tammuz. Weird stuff going on here, y'all. Okay. According to the Babylonian tradition, this goddess is descended to the underworld in search of her missing lover Tammuz, with the result that fertility ceased and woman wept. So this is what our foremothers, unfortunately, were doing. They're weeping for Tammuz. In fact, that's in Ezekiel. Let's read that right quick. Ezekiel 8 and 14. It's in 13. He said also unto me, turn thee yet again, and thou shalt see greater abominations that they do. Verse 14. Then he brought me to the door of the gate of the Most High's house, which was toward the north, and behold, there sat woman weeping for Tammuz. Foremothers are tripping, man. You know, our forefathers are tripping too, but I'm just reading you, hey. Foremothers like, man, we gonna bake cakes unto the Queen Mother of Heaven without our men, and we gonna weep for Tammuz like all these other heathen nations are doing for their worshipment. And this is the weeping. This is the 40-day Lent that they got people doing before they run into Easter. Doing the whole shebang. Okay, Ash Wednesday, Lent, and then doing all that all the way up to Easter, man. Beat, man. We ain't supposed to be doing none of this stuff. In her various capacities, Ishtar is represented as the evening and morning star Venus, which I just read to you. They call her Venus in Rome, right? So let's close this out with a couple precepts. I want to touch on, well, what are we going to do? Do we keep it? No, of course you don't keep it, man. You say the Most High. Let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 8, right? And touch on what we're supposed to do in reference to our power, right? 1 Corinthians chapter 8 and 1. Now, as touching things offered unto idols, so if you're cooking, doing all that, offering cakes, whatever, on Easter, that's offered to the idol, because you're doing it on this day where everybody worshiping her, man. This is a real worship that's just going on here when you cooking on this day. Having this dinner for this dumb Easter on this day. Painting eggs and eating eggs on this day. These things are sacrificed unto idols. Okay? We read all the gods of the nation are idols. We read to you who this person is. It's idol. Now, as touching things offered unto idols, we know that we all have knowledge. Knowledge puffeth up, but charity edified. Verse 2. And if any man think he knoweth anything, he knoweth nothing, yet as he ought to know. Verse 3. But if any man love Ahiah, the same is known of him. As concerning therefore the eating of those things that are offered in sacrifice unto idols, we know that an idol is nothing in the world, and that there is none other power but one. Huh? We know this ain't one power. We're going to read it out the word. Make sure everybody know. That ain't but one power on this earth. Man, it ain't but one power that made heaven and earth and all things. Huh? This is Deuteronomy 6 and 4. Hear, O Israel, Ahiah, our power, is one power. It's only one. Right? This is what Paul quoting here. We know it's only one power. Right? For though there be that are called gods, so somebody's calling you a power, that doesn't make you a power. They're calling you that. Whether in heaven or in earth, as there be powers many and lords many. But to us there is but one power, the Father, of whom are all things, and we in him, and one Master, Yeshai, the Anointed, by whom are all things, and we by him. So understand, we're not rocking with nobody, dealing with what they deal with, messing with what they mess with, right? Verse 7, howbeit there is not in every man that knowledge. So everybody don't know this. But most high willing, you can edify today. You can understand. It's only one power. For some with conscience of the idol unto this hour eat it as a thing offered unto an idol, but their conscience being weak is defiled. So you don't have the conscience to understand. You're still defiling yourself. You know, this is why the Most I say you got to study to show yourself approved, so you can know what you're doing, right? Everybody knowing Easter and all this excitement, this zeal and good feeling in your heart to get together. You conscious don't know. That's wrong. I mean, no matter how I feel, it's wrong. Okay. It says right here, but meat commended us not to Ahiah, for neither if we eat are we the better, neither if we eat not are we the worse. But take heed lest any means this liberty of yours become a stumbling block to them that are weak. So, mind you, you got grace, okay, because of your knowledge, because we discontinued from our heritage, right? But don't let it be a stumbling block to you to make you feel like, oh, I'm eating any and everything, man, like whatever, I don't care, okay? You still got to have a conscience. You still got to want to study to see and understand what you're doing. First thing we read was, what is Easter? What is that? What is it? Think about what it is. Let me figure out what it is, man. So I can edify myself, man. So I got knowledge of something, right? It says, for if any man see thee which has knowledge, sit at meat in the idol's temple. So if somebody see you, like if I see a brother, I got knowledge. I know what this is. I see a brother sitting there about to eat Easter dinner, and I'm seeing, right? Shall not the conscience of him which is weak be emboldened to eat those things which are offered to idols? So you got another one who don't know that Easter is pagan, and he see you having an Easter Sunday. Oh, I'm gonna do that too. All right, that's cool, cause he don't know no better. He ain't got no conscience. He weak. He ain't got no knowledge, right? So you gonna be an example as well and cause others to sin. That's what we read in the scriptures, that you can't mess with none of the heathens' idols and worship their deities, and we're gonna call the others of the nation to sin. We don't want to sin, man, and we don't want to provoke others to sin either, right? Let's read a little more in chapter 10, right? Let's read 10 and 20, 27. All right, this is 1 Corinthians chapter 10, 27. If any of them that believe not bid you to a feast, and ye be disposed to go, whatsoever is set before you, eat, asking no question for conscience sake. All right, so Paul speaking to you of grace. Somebody invite you. Somebody already invited you. Like right now, somebody already invited you. Like, yo, come have Easter dinner with us on Sunday, right? You already told them you're going to go. And you feel like, dang, I got to go. I tell them I'm going to go. And you show up. If they don't speak and say, hey, this is Easter dinner, and they just give you some food, he said, all right, just bless it and eat it, right? Because they ain't told you This is something that is made for Easter. It's not being sacrificed to an idol. So they're not telling you, oh, this Easter. Just, all right, cool. Go ahead and eat that, whatever. But if they say, yeah, we're doing this for Easter, this Easter dinner, now you got conscience, you got understanding. So you can't willfully sin and eat that now, right? Just what Paul's saying, right? I'm going to read it again. If any of them that believe not, meaning somebody that don't believe in the truth, and they keep Easter, bid you to a feast, and ye be disposed to go, whatsoever set before you eat, asking no questions for conscience sake. Don't ask them about it, right? 28. But if any man say unto you, this is offered in sacrifice unto idols, this is our Easter dinner, eat not for his sake that showed it, and for conscience sake. The earth is the Most High's and the fullness thereof. So then you can't eat that junk. Because now you got, understand you got conscience now. The Most High going to judge you. Hell, you know, he told you. My law ain't finna switch up. He told you now. So now, you ain't got no grace to eat that. Because you know better, right? Verse 29. Conscience, I say, not thine own, but of the others. For why is my liberty judged of another man's conscience? So we got the liberty to live by this grace. Say, don't eat it when they already told you it's Easter and somebody else watching like, dang, you provoking them now to do that. And you know that's wrong. So soon as they tell you, you can't eat that for your sake and for anybody else watching that's weak. And make them think, I can eat Easter Sunday and still being keeping the law, still fearing the Most High, still loving him with all my heart. I'm not gonna make him jealous. Yes, you are. Yes, you're gonna make him jealous, man. Verse 30. For if I by grace be a partaker, why am I evil spoken of for that for which I give thanks? So he's saying, by the grace, if he don't ask me and I eat it, I'm not going to be you should look upon me evil if I partake in it, because by grace I'm taking it, and he didn't tell me that it was sacrificed unto the devil. So that's why he's saying, for what which I give thanks. I'm still blessing it. I don't know what it came from. He didn't tell me what it was. I just came to the dinner. It's like, bro, eat. I'm gonna bless my work. Say a blessing for it. Don't judge me, because I didn't. It was not told to me. This was sacrificed unto idols, and he gave it to me, and I blessed and I ate it. Bam, right? Wherefore, therefore, ye eat or drink or whatsoever ye do, do all to the glory of Ahiah, right? Verse 32, give none offense, neither to the Jew, nor to the Gentiles, nor to the church of Ahiah, even as I please all men in all things, not seeking my own profit, but the profit of many, that they may be saved. So we only teaching this truth. We only bringing this edification, that Israel be saved, man. Okay, we got to leave this dumb Easter stuff alone, man. Not nothing to do with us, man. All this stuff is all year long here in Babylon. We worshiping all the pagan holidays of ancient Babylon. That's why this book is called Two Babylons, man. Going through all these holy holidays back to back to show you this nation is fashioned, off ancient Babylon. We got to chill out, man. All right? Give me one more verse, man. All praise to the Most High, right? This is Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 2. On verse 1, and it shall come to pass, and when all these things are come upon thee, the blessings and the curses of the covenant, which I have set before thee, and thou shalt call them to mind among all the nations, whether the Most High thy power hath driven thee. That's right now. We're calling all the sins we did before our mind. And shall return unto Ahiah thy power, and shall obey his voice according to all that I command thee this day, thou and thy children with all thy heart and with all thy soul. Remember, we supposed to serve the Most High. Love him, and don't put nothing in front of him, with all thy heart, all thy mind, all thy soul, that then Ahiah thy power will turn thy captivity, and have compassion upon thee, and will return and gather thee from all the nations whither the Most High thy power hath scattered thee. It's a direct effect on our salvation, and getting over back into our land to receive the promises, to be able to be still found doing when the return of our King Hamashiach Yeshua comes back. Right? So we got to turn away. We got to keep turning away. Repent. Turn away. Right? And don't sin no more. Don't partake in Easter. Israel. Don't do that. It's not commanded for us to do that. Right? You're committing a sin. Everyone's smiling, laughing, eating, having a good time, but guess what? It ain't according to the smiling, feasting, and being gladness unto the holy days of the Most High. He told us, you celebrating and having gladness and joy and feasting to a false deity. It's not a power. All right? So all praise to the Most High. I pray, Israel, y'all edified today, and that you pray to have strength. The Most High turn your heart and your spirit away. Okay, because you know up here, but your heart, like, man, I want to do that, man. I want to eat that. I want to gather. Don't do that, man. We got other days we got all kind of holy days to gather for, right? We can come together any other time, just to come together. But don't do it on this day, because we know now this day is representing the worship of this lady, right? So I pray y'all edify today. Pray y'all, pray, fast, so you can get spiritual strength over your flesh. Punk your flesh, man. Your flesh ain't running nothing. Your spirit, run the show. So you can be obedient to the word of the Most High. And we can completely come to a life living without sin. Being perfect. Alright? Being made perfect. Alright? So I wish y'all another blessed Sabbath. Y'all be blessed. And we'll be in Zion soon. Y'all hope y'all preparing. These signs is right in your face. These are the beginning of sorrows right now. It's gonna get worse. So let's just prepare, man, to get on to the wilderness. Get up out of Babylon. Get up out of Babylon. Get up out of Babylon, y'all. You need to be preparing too right now if you're not prepared. And if you're prepared, when that window open, be ready to run through that. Alright. Most High bless y'all. All praise again to the Most High. Shua Bashem Mashiach Yeshai Kwam Yasha Allah. Shalom.